Hello, this is Mr. Huff, and I want to talk to you about setting tolerances. So I built this little part. It's just a block with 4 holes in it. And you can see I've got different kinds of holes and different shapes. So we start by making a drawing like this. This is just the typical place a front view and a side view for this part. That's all you need. And we're applying some general dimensions for the length, width, and depth. And these drawings tend to get a little bit busy with all the holes, so we're only going to be using these two views for the projection. We won't do the ISO. I'm using the hole note tool, and I'm going around and identifying what each kind of hole is. So I'm just clicking on the edge of the hole, dragging it out, and dropping it. So we have one that's it's got a countersunk, and we've got one that's spot faced, and we've got one that's counterboard, and one that's just through. Well, not through, it's a depth, and so it's blind. Okay, so I set those 4 out there, and now we need to talk about tolerances. At this point, you should have already read about tolerances, so this is how to set them in Inventor. First, you have to escape the hole and thread tool. There we go. And if you click on the measurement, it will pop up this little edit dimension window. You need to make sure that override displayed value is unchecked so that you can make some changes. In the box that says tolerance method, we'll be using things like symmetric and deviation. Those are kind of the main ones we'll be using. And you can see whenever you choose those, the little boxes at the bottom become things that you can change. Notice the precision for the primary unit is 2 decimal places, and that the symmetric selection is also 2 decimal places. So you can see we're doing a deviation now, and make sure it's not whether we are overriding the displayed value. And then we are going to put a deviation there. So that shows that you can go 4 inches or up to 4.03 inches. Okay. Then let's do one more just for fun. So double click, choose what you want. Let's do stacked. So we're going to say stacked, and in this case I'm going to say up to 0.03. You get a similar setup to what we just did. However, it's going to stack those, and that means it's I'm just going to change the tolerance here to make it a little more interesting. So what we're saying is this has to be very precise. It has to be it's primary tolerance. There we go. Alright, so it has to be between between 4 and 4.005. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so that's the ways to set those values for the setting tolerances on general dimensions. For holes, it's a little bit different. Make a note of what you're doing before you start. It's easier if you have the list of what you're changing in front of you. So make sure that you go through and choose deselect, use default, and then choose the little precision and tolerances. Unselect, use global precision, and this opens up this table. Also, there's a little, let me hold this right here. There's a little box right here that can let you open and close this portion. I had it open from a previous measurement, so it will normally appear with a little double arrow going to the right, and to open it, and use the double arrow to the left to close it. Alright, let's continue. So what I'm going to do at this point is say, well, for this diameter, I have a specific kind of tolerance. My upper level is, let's change the dimensions, the precision. So it's a good idea to make sure that your tolerance and your unit precision match. And so there I've applied a plus or minus 0.003 tolerance to that dimension. So that's one way to do it. And then I'm going to reposition that so it's a little less cluttery. I also notice that this looks like it could be a higher precision than that. So I'm going to open that up again, go to precision and tolerance. And let's change it to 4 decimal places, and change this one to 4 decimal places, and see what that looks like. There we go. So now we've got it to 4 decimal places, plus or minus 0.003. Let's take a look at this one. be sure to turn off the global overrides. We're going to set this to 4 decimal places for the diameter. We're going to activate the tolerance. We'll also set it for the depth, and we'll turn both of those on. And in this case, let's do a symmetric at the top, put it 4 decimal places, and let's just make it some really crazy number. These precisions I'm defining here would be extremely expensive to make. Oh, I need to make the tolerance match here. We'll go to 4 decimal places here. So I have an upper and a lower of 0. Okay, so we're going to apply that. And you can see that it added some values there. So now we're saying the diameter can be plus or minus, and the depth has to be 0.5350, and it could be as much as 0.5355. Okay, we're doing another one now. Make sure global is unselected. I'm setting my precision to much higher, turning on the tolerance for the diameter, and setting it at symmetric. Let's use this as a stacked limit. So I'm going to give it an upper at 3 decimal places. I need to change the decimal place. And I forgot what I was doing. You need to write these down before you start so you know. So I'm just going to wing it here. We're going to put in a number. Put a lower number of 0.05. Change the precision and click OK. So now we have those stacked numbers. So it added in those values. So now let's add in a text box. Some of the general dimensions you'll go through and identify those limits with a with some just plain text. So in this case, we're going to use uppercase letters. We're saying linear dimensions. So this is basically saying if I don't specify that if it's 1 decimal place, it's at plus or minus 0.02. And if it's at, this is important, how to get little special symbols. This little box right here, you can click on this drop down and it gives you some things. So I want to choose the plus or minus, and I chose the degree, and now we're going to put in 0.5. So in this case, I've made a little comment saying, here's my general dimensions for everything. I want to kind of put this, tuck it in a corner somewhere out of the way, and let's do that. Be sure to escape first. The green dots are confusing me. I'm going to resize this box to make my job easier. Tuck that down in the corner. All right. So that is a real quick demonstration of how to apply tolerances to specific measurements and manipulate precision. That should be enough information to get you through the assignment. Thanks for watching.